Hey guys, so I'm about to explain to you why taking advantage of our half-price home promo may be the smartest decision you've ever made in your life. More when I return on the Eric McNeal Be Free Show.
Black men and white men, Jews and Gentiles, Protestants and Catholics will be able to join hands and sing in the words of the old Negro spiritual, free at last, free at last. Thank God Almighty, we are free at last.
Hey guys, welcome. You just discovered the Eric McNeal Be Free Show, where it's all about being financially independent, responsible for self, enjoying life, and empowering others free. So today, I want to discuss why taking advantage of our recent promo, the half-price home promo that has started. As of today, it started. And it may be the smartest decision you've ever made in your life. And I'm going to explain to you why during this video. And this one might be a bit long, so you just bear with me because we're about to go deep down the rabbit hole, okay? Alright, so as you know, we have the half-price home promo where you get half off if you pay full price for the house and you're willing to wait 3 years. We have a 25% off if you pay full price and you're willing to wait 2 years. We'll take 12.5% off if you're willing to pay 60% up front, 20% when we get your walls up, 20% when we get your roof up, and you're willing to wait 2 years. None of those work for you. Pay the regular price, okay, on the website, and that comes with a payment plan, 30% up front, 30% when we get your walls up, 30% when we get your roof up, and then 10% when we complete it, okay? We got 4 options for you. But I know this is like the largest decision, the biggest purchase one could make in their life. So they're like, whoa, you know, we have to put a lot of faith in your company. We have to put a lot of faith in you and Eric McNeal and Brandon Rogers. We have to put a lot of faith in that y'all are going to do this, that y'all, you know. So you're right. You have to put a lot of faith in us. And first of all, let me tell you that it's not just me and Brandon, by the way. This is a legal Ghanaian registered organization, and there is a board of directors. So, and as we grow, that board of directors will also grow. So rest assured that you're not putting your faith in just me and Brandon, right? Although we are very influential and set the direction, okay? That is true, but that's true of any smaller size company. But let me help you to understand why this decision to do this is very smart, because we are here. Like, you know, Brandon is a genius, architect and builder. You know, you don't hear anybody talking about, oh, he took my money to build my house and he ran away. Brandon even built this house. You know, when I came here, he built my house. And I understand money and finances. So you're not just dealing with a company who knows how to build houses, but you're dealing with a company who knows how to build, but a company that understands money like it's nobody's business. And what I'm telling you is that putting your money with us and with us giving you half off is the best hedge against a failing Western economy. Specifically, a U.S. dollar, a failing U.S. dollar. Man, if you don't see what's coming around for the U.S. dollar, you have to be somewhere asleep. You have to be asleep, right? You have this country over $20 trillion in debt. They have to, basically what you see happening in the U.S. is that the powers that control this world are bankrupting the U.S., right? When you have that much debt in a corporation, and the U.S. is just a big corporation, they're bankrupting and doing a restructure. That's why you see all of the chaos going on. And you have been hearing the war drums lately. Yeah, you've been hearing the war drum if you've been paying attention. It's the talk is very subtle now, but you've been hearing China making moves in the South China Sea, and America making moves against China, saying, hey, we stand with Taiwan. And China saying, you better stay out of this. Stay out of this. Now, the average person who's just watching this, they might say, well, what is so significant about Taiwan? Why are they making all this about Taiwan? Well, let's see. Why is Taiwan so significant? And this is at the heart of why most people are going to lose their life savings in the coming years, because you don't understand what's going on around the world and how it affects your pockets. See, there's just this thinking and belief that America is a superpower. America can just go anywhere. And what I'm telling you, America is not the superpower. The superpower are the elites behind America that give America its claws. That's the superpower. And those elites are not tied to any flag. They're not tied to any geographic location. They prop flags up, they prop countries up, and they tear them down just as quick as they prop them up. It's all about a profit, baby. Right? They prop Great Britain up, and they tore it down just as quick as they propped it up. So, when you say America is a superpower, no, America's not a superpower. It's the powers that be who control America. That's the superpower. And those powers to be are restructuring the chessboard, the grand chessboard. Now, let's go back to Taiwan. What's significant about this Taiwan thing? I want to take you to, let's see if I can find something here. I'm going to do a little search. I need to do a little search here. What I'm searching for is the foreign holders of U.S. debt. I want to know what are the top countries that hold U.S. debt. Okay, let's see. Here you go. Let's see. Yeah, they're about to deal with you guys. The dollar is not getting any stronger, people. For those of you who just think that it's going to always be a dollar, it's not getting any stronger. And if you don't recognize it and begin to move your money into assets which are growing, then you're going to lose your wealth. As simple as that. That's what we call hedging, right? You take your money and you begin to move it into places that's growing. So if you are losing money on the stock market, then if you've hedged somewhere else, that value should go up. Like I might say, okay, I'm a hedge with gold. I'm going to take 10% of my holdings in the stock market or in the bank or in cash, and I'm going to hedge it with gold. I'm going to go somewhere, hedge with real estate. I'm going to hedge, into another country, into a developing country. So these are all things that you can do to hedge, right? So when the dollar starts to just tank, then hopefully you're protected if you hedged properly. And that's how it works, guys. So we're talking about the 10 largest U.S. debt holders. Now you might be able to guess number one. Who holds the most U.S. debt? It's who? Japan. Japan. Well, they hold 1.3 trillion as of 2021. 1.3 trillion in U.S. debt. Number two, China. You see that? They hold 1.07 trillion. So Japan and the U.S., they like ride or die. They lock tight. They like Bunny and Clyde, ride or die, ride or die. It was good for the U.S., it's good for Japan. It was good for Japan, it's good for the U.S. Like, Japan is not going to rock the boat. They depend on all their protection to come from the U.S., so they're not rocking the boat. But at number two, you have China. China. In the U.S. like this. Button heads. Like, hey, you know, we the second largest U.S. debt holder, but we got our eye on you. You know, hey. So it's a very, very touchy situation. Now number three, you know, let's keep going. Number three is the United Kingdom. They hold $539 billion in U.S. debt. Number four is Ireland. They hold $319 billion in U.S. debt. Number five is Luxembourg. They hold $291 billion in U.S. debt. Number six is the Cayman Islands. They hold $250 billion. And you say, well, how does Cayman Islands hold $250 billion? Well, you know, you have them set up all these little corporations, you know, on somewhere like the Cayman Islands. You know, the people ain't got no money there, but you have these rich people, they set up the corporations on the Cayman Islands, and they run all that money through there. Laundering money. But anyway, they got number six. Then you got Brazil at $248 billion US dollars. So, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So Brazil is number 7. Number 8, Taiwan, 242 billion. Number 9 is France, 236 billion that they hold in U.S. debt. And then number 10 is Hong Kong, 227 billion. All right, so what's significant about this list? Well, here's the deal. Because Japan is the largest holder of U.S. debt, people listen to Japan. If Japan makes a move, then the whole world is listening when it comes to U.S. debt. If Japan says we're buying more U.S. debt, hey, all the little countries around the world, they buy more because they listening to Japan. Now, do you think Japan is going to make any serious moves against the U.S. dollar when they're so interconnected with America and all of their livelihood comes from the U.S. and all of their protection and comes from the U.S. and no, they're not going to make any serious moves against the U.S. dollar. No. But what about China? Oh yeah, they going to try to put a hurting. They're going to try to put a hurting. But right now, the number one player is Japan. They own, so that's who people listen to first. So it brings up this whole situation with Taiwan in the war drums. America is now caught between a rock and a hard place. Because here's their options. Here are they. Well, let me share this with you. First of all, Japan controls 1.07 trillion. No, they could actually control more than that, because there's another little country, state on the top 10 called Hong Kong. You know, China annexed Hong Kong. And so this 227 billion in U.S. debt that Hong Kong controls, well, guess who controls it now? China. Now, if China gets control of Taiwan, who controls 242 billion in U.S. debt, game over. That will mean China controls the majority of U.S. debt. They already have 1.07 trillion for mainland China. They control 227 billion from Hong Kong. And when they get Taiwan, they will control 242 billion in U.S. debt. If you add those three together, you have over 1.5 trillion in U.S. debt, which eclipses the number one debt holder of Japan, which currently holds 1.3 trillion. So when China gets 1.5 trillion in U.S. debt, the world will start listening to China when it comes to either we're going to acquire more U.S. debt or we're going to start dumping the dollar. The world will listen to China. And this is what the U.S. is deathly afraid of. They are afraid that if China acquires, and I'm not going to say if, I'm just going to say when. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. But when China acquires Taiwan and annexes Taiwan, game over. That's why I say America is caught between a rock and a hard place. Because if America does not go to war with Taiwan, with China, China's going to take Taiwan, and America's going to by default. And if America decides to go to war with China over this issue, game over. Game over. Do you think America can go in China's backyard and whoop them? Some of you believe so. Some of you have been convinced by your mainstream media that America's invincible. But let me help you to understand how wars are fought. No matter how much technology and weapons of war America has, wars are fought by people. And the first wave of breaking these people down is through internal conflict, because a house divided against itself cannot stand. So they have already begun to break down America's internal structures, right? Look at internally, America's in an uproar. White versus black, gay versus straight, this versus that. There's all kind of problems going on internally in America. That's the first way in which they break it down. And then you have the top leaders across the militaries. That's going to be the next wave. Because when it's time to do things, if there's a war that happens, well, these top brass, when it's time for them to push the button or time for them to send their men somewhere, somebody's going to say, General, stand down. stand down. Don't execute that command. See, it's not about just you having all this military armament. It's some people behind it that's got to operate the military armament. And if those people have been bribed, hey, y'all don't get war, do you? Y'all don't get it. See, because when the general and the people who are supposed to be executing have been offered millions of dollars to stand down, what do you think they're gonna do? When it's time to push that button, oh, well, General, we're gonna give you 10 million. You get 10 million for this, just stand down, okay? He gonna be over there smoking a cigar. China invading. General, China coming across the wall. Oh, General, should we exit? No, just chill out. We all gonna get paid for this. What you mean? Oh, y'all gonna get taken care of for this. You see how that works? So, if you believe that it's just gonna be an open and shut case of America whipping China, hey, China has been gifted a lot of America's technology over the last 30, 40 years, that, by the people who control the world. They have gifted China. So all those advantages you believe America has, don't be sold on that. Don't be sold on it. Don't be so sure of that. You ever see a dog, a mean dog, and when the dog is outside of its own yard, it's calm. It won't even mess with you. But when you go into the dog's yard, man, you got a fight on your hands. You don't go into that dog's yard, but if the dog is out some way, it may even run from you. And run back into its own yard. Now you go in that dog's yard and see what happens. So when you hear China ain't coming over messing with America over in America, but you come in the South China Sea, into their own territory, and you try to start something with China. Man, you in trouble. And do you think NATO, American allies, gonna get involved in this one? I wouldn't count on it. I wouldn't count on it. So this is why I say America is caught between a rock and a hard place. They're caught. And this war is coming. It's coming. The American dollar is falling and is being destroyed purposely by the powers that be. And if you're in American dollars, you're in the bank, you're not hedging. And this is why I'm telling you that a hedge with migrating culture crossing is probably going to be your best decision in your life saving, your saving grace out of this, to come in and put your money with us. Now, a lot of you don't understand that at the end of the day, the Chinese really already control America. They just haven't collected on their assets. Like, they control a lot of properties and a lot of assets in America. You do understand that, right? Let's look at the top, corporations, the top mutual funds in America. Probably the largest mutual fund in America is perhaps Vanguard. Vanguard controlled all this money across America's largest corporations. Well, who controls Vanguard? The Chinese. So if the Chinese control Vanguard, which is essentially an investment in the largest U.S. corporations, who control America? Earlier this year, Vanguard divested, I guess they merged with like the Ant Group. Now, the Ant Group may sound small, but it's not small at all. It's part of the Alibaba group. You know Alibaba, which is the big online retailer in China, Jack Ma. But the Ant Group now owns 51% of Vanguard through a merger. You see that? The Ant Group. No, it's not an ant. But it's Chinese owned. So here you have this Chinese company that now owns 51%. Not 49%. Not 50%. But what did I say? 51%. Why would Vanguard give a Chinese firm 51% of his holdings? Who owns it now? The group that has 51%. It sold itself. Vanguard sold itself. You get that? Man, you guys don't get it, and that's why you're going to lose your wealth. The Chinese own America. They just haven't collected yet. And you guys just haven't realized it yet. Who do you think owns CNN? The Chinese News Network. That's why they call it the Chinese News Network, because the Chinese own and control that network. And what I'm telling you guys is that the US dollar will continue to decline because they are strategically destroying the US dollar. And they're all making moves, the powers that be, to divest slowly out of the US dollar. You never see a plane take off, a jet plane, whoosh, I don't know, and it goes some 20 to 30,000 feet. And it's gliding, the plane is gliding along. Now just imagine the plane, the jet, it loses one of its jet engines. It can still glide, you know, it can still fly fine off that one engine, you know that? That plane, it will still glide. But let's say it loses the second one. Both engines are now gone, but it's high, if it's high in the air, it just continues to glide. You may not even notice that you're flying with no engines at all. So it's not going to immediately just fall out the sky. It's because it's so high and it's just gliding. But guess what? As it glides, it's getting lower and lower. And it's going to eventually crash. No matter how long it glides, people, it's going to crash eventually. And the pilots know, and maybe the workers know. Maybe they make plans for themselves and they don't tell you anything, and you just sitting back there, just enjoying your flight. You in. You strapped in. This is how you are in the West right now. America's ground zero for this. You're strapped in, but the jet has lost both of its engines. Because it's so high, because America's so big, because the US dollar is so dominant, it doesn't immediately fall out of the sky, but it gets lower and lower. And when America gets lower and lower, this is why you see inflation. Oh, this week, a loaf of bread is $2. A month later, a loaf of bread is $2.30. A month later, it's $2.75. And it's because the plane is declining. The economy is getting lower and lower, and the powers to be are cashing out. So Your bread and your eggs continue to get more and more expensive. Your fuel prices continue to get more and more expensive. This is what's happening. And if you don't take the little money that you have and invest it into something to hedge against this runaway inflation that's spiraling out of control, you're going to lose everything you got. And so our value proposition at Migrating Culture Crossing is to give us the money to put in real estate. Let us hedge your wealth so you don't lose everything. I hope you get this. I hope you understand what I'm saying, why we offer a great hedge against a declining U.S. dollar, people. It's going to continue to decline. Things are going to continue to deteriorate across the West and specifically in America, the heart of the U.S. dollar. The more U.S. dollars that a country has, then the worse they're going to feel this thing. And so it's going to get to a point where they're going to start dumping the U.S. dollar because it's going to continue to spiral out of control. So if you don't know how to hedge, you in trouble. You in trouble. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And all of this is planned. I hate to tell you, but all of this is planned by the powers that be. It's not accidental. It's not happenstance. It's not coincidence. This stuff is planned out long time, people. So it's only you that don't know. They just get you watching TV while they making these plans, and you dumb, deaf, and blind. You don't know what's going on. So you know, China built like 50 cities, large cities. And it's like 50 ghost cities, because they call them ghost cities because there's really nobody staying in there, just a few people living in these cities. So people ask, why did China build 50-something cities, major cities? Like, are they losing their mind? People have speculated, oh, they just wanted to spend their money. They needed to spend some money, and they need... No. It doesn't work like that. Let me tell you why China built those ghost cities. Because they expect those cities to be occupied by people coming into China. Yes, they're expecting that at some point there's going to be an influx of people leaving the West, coming to China to live as the next major superpower. That's why they built those cities, people. They're preparing the groundwork for at some point, I don't know, maybe next 10, maybe next 20 years, when America finally has its gluteus maximum served to it in war, or when there's chaos and disease and destruction rampaging through America, and the only people that's going to be able to leave are the elite, the wealthy. They're going to have enough cash to leave America, and they're going to head to China, and those ghost cities will now become populated, while America is dying a slow death and going through a restructuring. That's why China built those ghost cities. I'm telling you, people are coming, and that's why you have a lot of African Americans relocating to places like Ghana. You see, they are preparing. They see what's coming. And you have all this development going on. When you look at Ghana and you see all the development going on, it's mind-boggling. It's like, where is this money coming from? is coming from the west. It's moving to the east. Yes, people, get ready. Get ready. So, I want you to look at Migrating Culture Crossing. We'll take your money, we'll hedge it, we'll put it into real estate. And while the US dollar goes down, your real estate investment goes up. You say, well, Eric, I don't have that kind of money to just take and purchase even at half price. I don't have the full amount. Well, I'll tell you like this. If you are smart, you'll go get some of your family members. You go get some of your friends and you say, well, I have 10,000, you have 10,000, this person has 10,000. Let's take this money, put it together, and make this investment. I have 20,000, you have 20,000, you have 20,000, you have 20,000, right? If you take our most expensive home right now, which is just right under 153,000, you have that, you know, you're right at $76,000. What do you need? 4 people with 20,000 to buy that home at half price. And when you take ownership of it, 3 years, you've already doubled your money, right? Because you bought the house at half price. So at the very least, you have doubled your money. But realistically, you made much more than that, because the value, as the dollar continues to depreciate over the next few years, that house is going to have more value. And it will be worth way more than 153,000, because the more homes that are built back there, the more valuable those homes will become. So now you're looking at a home that's probably, by the time you take ownership of it, is at least 200,000, 250,000, something, because as the value of the US dollar goes down, the price of the house will go up. You get it? I hope you get this. Anyway, I'm sorry if this was a bit long, but I wanted to just make you understand the value that Migrating Culture Crossing is offering. I know things are not looking good in the U.S. and you have a lot of problems, and you're like, man, this is a very major decision to take this type of money and have faith that they're going to be able to deliver. But I'm telling you, it's even more of a risk to leave your money in the bank these days, brothers and sisters. That's the risk. That's the risk. Your institutions are failing you. Your government is failing you. Your leaders are failing you. So I'm saying, bring the money here and let's put it in real estate. I can hedge you. Like, I can hedge and make sure you don't lose your money. But on your own, your money is likely gone, buddy. It's likely gone. I don't know what to tell you. I'm sorry. Yeah. And if you can't see the value in what we're doing, which is a community with an organic food forest, 200 acres, an organic food forest, amenities. You have to decide, guys. Do your due diligence and make a decision. And I know it's not an easy decision. But at any rate, that's it for today. Go ahead. If you like what we're talking about, go ahead, hit that subscribe button. Like, share, comment, give me your feedback. Let me know what you're thinking. And if you haven't already done so, go ahead to our website at www.migratingculturecrossing.com. The half price home promo has started. And for those of you that have already taken advantage of it in this short period of time, I want to thank you. And you can also find me on Facebook. at facebook.com/Eric McNeal is free. And as always, Ooorahhh Uhuru. Now be free.